My name is Professor Michael Eisenberg. I'm teaching at the University of Haifa, the Department of Archaeology and in the Zinman Institute of Archaeology. My main profession is classical archaeology, where I teach at the University of Haifa.
And my name is Dr. Arleta Kowalewska, and I'm a research fellow at the Zinman Institute of Archaeology at the University of Haifa.
The field school is going on Susita Mountain. It's a small hill overlooking beautiful panorama of the Sea of Galilee, the eastern part of Israel, just above a beautiful kibbutz named Kibbutz En Ger. And each day we climb up the mountain where the buses stop not too far away from our main excavation area. And there we dig from early morning till almost lunchtime. And most of our day later on is along the shores of the kibbutz, which is just by the Sea of Galilee, with all the beautiful scenery, of course, one can imagine there.
So the site that we are excavating on Mount Susita is an ancient city called Hippos. And, it was established in the Hellenistic period, and then it flourished in the Roman period, and in the Byzantine period it became a Christian city. With time it declined, and towards the end of the Umayyad period it was taken down by the earthquake and never resettled, and it was basically left as is until our times. It's a very great site to explore because it doesn't have many modern additions on top of the ancient remains.
Once we arrive at the field and separate into several sub-areas of excavations, we start working, and we have several tasks there in each area, from lifting basalt stones to brushing with brushes, the stones themselves, the plaster, the mosaic fragments, and so on. So it's varied, and of course it changes all the time. That's what's so beautiful about archaeology. You're not expecting what you will find, otherwise why would you dig it? So the tools and the methods change from sub-area to the other, and actually during work itself.
So we're trying to understand the history of the city in as much detail as possible. It's not one of the places that was written about in ancient literary sources that survived until our times. So basically our way of understanding this place is archaeology, and it has a lot of connections to the wider history of the whole Roman Empire and the Hellenistic empires before that, to our Christian world of the Byzantine period, then later to the Islamic periods after the Islamic conquest of the area. So it nicely brings us the knowledge of all the big events of human history, and we explore it through this particular site. Is quite well left to our times for us to explore.
Students that arrive at HIPPOS excavations develop their skills from hour to hour, from day to day. First of all, it's the intimate archaeological work they are participating in. You cannot replace it in anything. You cannot watch it on TV. You have to feel with your own hands, dirt, sweat, eyes, how the accumulation, the ancient one, is changing in front of you. How you're supposed to work, at how speed, at how force. And then you see the finds themselves, whether they are decomposed artifacts or they are totally complete bronze chandeliers and lamps and utensils and so on. And then what to do with them? Would you touch them in the field? Will you remove them? So the dealing with the artifacts within the soil, out of the soil, with different tools, this is, I think, the basic and the most important part of participating with foot on the ground, in this case, in archaeological excavation.
So the skills, every week we add something more. So in the first week, I think the main thing is understanding just the tools, just using a trowel, using a hoe, using a pickaxe, emptying buckets, just to feel with your hands how the work should be done. So you understand the tools, and then you will be able to explain to others once you have your own site. Then we upgrade to, of course, understanding the fines, deciding exactly what to do if we get to different type of soil or we have some pottery sticking out. You learn in the upcoming weeks exactly how to make decisions, so you will know what to do in the situation that you find something like this.
We anticipate to excavate the area around the corridor, which is one of the main streets of the city of Hippos, where we are excavating for several years now the blocks where the people live, the neighborhood, which is a very hard work is being conducted there. We are emphasizing on one of the sites there that's been widely worldwide published. It's called the Elder's House. We believe we found the first elder's house in the history. It's of the Byzantine period. It's dated roughly to the end of the 4th century, early 5th century. And we are trying to dig down the accumulation of the Byzantine period, reaching it from the other side, and perhaps we'll find more evidence for this structure, which will be amazing. It hit the news a couple of weeks ago, and of course we want to understand what is it like, what is the plan of this building. But it's easy saying it, but of course in between we have to excavate through other very interesting stuff, like the fisherman house of the Byzantine period, and so on. And the other excavation area might be the theater, the Roman theater of Hippos, which we only touched a bit, and we have to understand so much about it.
It's hard for me to think about one specific question that archaeology can answer that would be more important than other, because in the end, every question connects us to some part of history that connects to another, and it all together builds the whole picture. So whichever piece we put in, it is an important addition to the story as a whole, as a way of getting us all together, all humanity, every human being, every person that ever was here on earth. All the story belongs to us. It connects us in ways then we don't really realize, and we should. And maybe this way we would be less conflicted and think more about what connects us.
I believe archaeology matters as part of our culture, as literature matters. This is part of our narrative, human narrative. And without using a cliche, large sentences about knowing your past, I think it is knowing yourself, your community, and advertising the ancient histories and the ancient narratives to the present. Sometimes it's only interesting, it's not important. Sometimes it's more important than interesting. But I think the combination between the two that provides you a fuller picture of your own history by a feasible evidence, I think those things that are accompanying history, archaeology is only a tool, those things I think much matter to us as human beings, living and using very similar tools as they did in the past, but in different ways.
Discover your future in the past, offering world-class field schools across the world. Join us today at Anthropocene Research Center.